Hi Jeff. I heard a lot about you. I don't know you personally, but I've heard good
What
stories about you.
that's good to hear. It's good. That's
Yeah.
very good to hear. But I've been looking forward to this meeting now and to talking to y'all for since you first contacted me. I'm really excited about it. So hopefully, I haven't done a lot of online meetings like this before, and I don't mess up any etiquette wise. But if I do, please let me know. I'm doing the best I can here, and I think this is going to be great. I'm really looking forward to talking to you.
Well, thanks for being here and letting me interview you. So, one of the first questions I wanted to ask, what what do you want people to know about you, first of all?
Well, there's a couple things. Main thing is here. I've been here a while. I moved here in 2002, but I've been coming out a long time before that. I've got a lot of experience in the casino business, and I'm invested here locally. In that, I've owned a couple businesses here. I'm always looking to do something else, and my kids from here. I'm really invested in the community and trying to make community better. That's something I wanted people. The first thing I wanted people to know about me is just know that I've been here a while and that I am, like I say, I've seen the way things have gone, and I want to get in there. It's time to step up, and I've talked about it enough. I want to make a change, and move things in the right direction for us.
Okay, so what position are you running for, and what do you know about the responsibilities?
Well, running for one of 5 city council seats. The main responsibilities of the city council, first and foremost, is they meet on the first and third Tuesday of every month, as well as any special meetings that come along. And basically, that council, along with the mayor, decides how the revenue is spent in the city, where we direct our efforts towards trying to get more revenue, and also making sure that our citizens are taken care of with basic services. You have several departments within the city in those meetings, for example, like the fire department, police department, the administrative, the clerk, the city manager, the public works department, the financial manager. All of those people report to the city council in those meetings and let us know what problems or what needs they may have for their budget or think ways that we can improve. And then it's up to the council to take that information and anything else that they may be able to offer and make the best decision for the city. It also, in a smaller role, so your mayor kind of controls the agenda of the city council meetings, and the city council is like a check and balance. So you have like the power of veto. You're seeing a lot of that right now in the federal government, where they're talking about like the stimulus package, for example, where one side runs one and then they have to run it by the president who has the veto, and they don't have enough. But we have the same kind of thing in the city where there's any disputes, uh, where if there's enough votes in the council, they can also override the mayor. So that's kind of a quick outline of the responsibilities uh, that are legislated. I believe personally that there's more responsibility just in that, some kind of unwritten stuff. And that's really is to give of your time, your experience, and your ability to help the community, to get out there and invest the time. It's not just to show up to meetings and make decisions on things that are handed to you. I feel like a city council person should go out and try and make things happen for a city, be proactive. For example, when Councilwoman Holm led the charge to go out and get marriage licenses for the city. They said, "Well, that won't. It's not gonna. We're gonna do one or two here and there. We do a lot." Those are the kinds of things I think a council person should be an advocate, should be out there fighting for the city and trying to make better things happen. So that's what I think the responsibilities are, both written and unwritten.
So you're running for city council. Why are you interested in doing so?
I've seen mainly the history of the city. I've seen a lot of decisions go the way that I wouldn't personally have done it, and it's easy to sit back and just complain about it, but I feel like I could actually get in there and do something. I want to look out for the best interests. I think that we've gotten shortchanged. Uh, People have is a lot of things have gone. We used to have just one industry in town, um, and a lot of land deals, things like that, have gone in maybe the casino's favor, not necessarily in the city's and the people's favor. And so I believe that I can get in there. I know enough about it, and have done a lot of things, in my career, to get some background to be able to look at these deals and goes, hey, this is good for the city or this isn't. So I feel like I'm very well qualified. In I've run several businesses and worked for companies with millions of dollars and spent millions of dollars uh, to make more money and been successful at it. So I'd like to bring that experience to the city.
So if you are elected into city council, what would you like to accomplish?
Well, number one for me, there's three things. There's number one is three things that we need to look out for. Right off the bat, our 24/7 healthcare. We need to do that. Now that's in the city's economic development strategy going forward, and in the next 2 years. And I want to make sure that we stick to that. It's also a little lower, but it is there, like say, on the economic development plan of the city, and I want to make sure that that happens. Same thing with the rec center. Uh, of course, we've run into hiccups with that, with COVID, and everything's kind of getting pushed back a little. But I also look at that as an opportunity. If I'm able to get in there, another thing I've done in my life is travel. I've gone around and looked at a lot of things, a lot of different places, and the way that they do things and the way things are set up, to make things better for their citizens. My youngest son lives in Centennial, Colorado, and they have some amazing parks and trails and recreation areas out there. And I think we could learn a lot from those. And I want to bring those types of things in here. And lastly is keeping an eye on downtown. It's got a big price tag. I'm in full support of it. I think that we do need to do something like that for business development, but I would like to be there uh, to watch the money. Just right off the bat, the phase one is a $700,000 land purchase, and then $3.5 million that's going to pay for some street, some power wire, and some sewer and utilities just to get run out. So that's almost $4.5 million investment. Uh, and I want to get in there and say, okay, how are we going to get this money back? What businesses are we going to get in? I'd like to be there at that table to make sure that we're not spending money where it's not going to come back to us or it's not a good deal for us. So that's my priority. Those three things going in is my priority as city council right off the bat.
So in your campaigning posters, you talk about wanting more for us as teenagers and kids. What more are you talking
Yes.
about?
Specifically the rec center. I think that we really need to look at the plan and the design of it and make sure that it's something that is inviting. Like the current rec center area that we have now, it's nice to have, but it's not somewhere you're going to go hang out, at least not in my opinion. Um, I want to make sure that we get enough gyms, for example. I'd like to go run and play basketball. I've played at the high school before. I've played at the church over here, and I want to make sure we have enough space that everyone can play, that everyone can get involved. And it needs to come together. I have a pretty good idea, in fact, for the rec center, um, in the design phase, that if we can put it all together, the whole thing will tie in with the swimming pool, with the ball fields, put the playgrounds, all of it. So the whole family can go. There's something for everybody. And another thing I want to mention is I want to make sure that is accessible and affordable for everybody. I don't want people to be priced out. I want it to be for locals. I want it to be for us, we need to promote tourism and take care of those guys too. But I really want something for us, for our kids. It's time that we put in some money for our future.
So with all the offers that you're wanting to do, what are what are you giving the community that's not been asked or been given before?
Uh, no, that's a tough question. What can I bring that the community hasn't had before? It's a new perspective from somebody. I'm originally from the outside looking in. I'm from the Salt Lake City area. Uh, and then I've transplanted here and been here the last 20 years. And so I kind of have perspective both ways. I think that that's something that I can really bring. Another thing is that because of the business I was in, I was worked in the poker room and I dealt with a lot of people uh, that aren't from here. So I have a ton of contacts. If we need to find contractors or mortgage lenders or uh, plumbers or electricians, things like that, I have those kinds of contacts to be able to bring those people and get them excited. I have a passion for Wendover, and I can get those folks excited to maybe want to come work here, live here, and be a part of our community. So I think that's something unique that I can bring.
So, as you may or may have not known, there's a school board meeting happening tonight about going back to schools in the district. Do you think it's safe for us to go back to schools?
Well, I've read Mayor Corona's letter that he just put out to the school board, and I think he raises some important points. He talks about the ventilation system with the high school, and talks about that maybe we aren't prepared. That some more collaboration needs to happen. So I support him in that letter and what he said. Whether you should be going back into school or not, I really don't know. My personal opinion is I would like to see some sort of hybrid model or something, but I honestly don't know that much about it. My son, who is in Colorado, is on a full-time uh, school, and I know that's online school for the entire year. They have no option for going back. It was whatever they sign up for. It's what they have, and I know it's been difficult for them. I realize how important those personal interactions are uh, to be with your peers, um, as opposed to not just you can learn reading, writing, and arithmetic online all day long, but getting that actual social experience and being able to interact with people and bounce ideas and collaborate, those kinds of things you need to be in person. So I know that we're missing out. Um, for me, I would defer to the folks that know. And if there are some issues like Mayor Corona has raised, then it would be my position to stick with that and to not have you going back until it's safe for you to do so. That being said, I know that there's a lot of this virus, this pandemic that's happened has been so confusing because you get so much information from one side and from the other saying, okay, masks are good, now masks are bad. Okay, now we need to wear them again. It's hard to know without really investigating yourself. And that for me is like I say, I would leave it to the folks that really know the building, whoever's in charge of the building. I'd talk to them and say, hey, is this adequate? And go from there. But personally, I haven't done that research yet, so I don't know. But I'm going to support the mayor and what he said. And so I guess the short answer would be no, I don't support you going back yet until it's safe.
Okay, so what's an important issue that you think that our community needs?
An important community that, something besides the three items that I've talked about with the rec center, with the healthcare, and with our downtown project. Um, Something that I think that we need to address is city code. Um, there's a lot of ambiguous things in the code. And there's a lot of outdated things. Our city was incorporated in the 90s, and things are back from then. For example, now there's something up. There's a process going where some online businesses are now going to be able to open up easier in the city. I think it would be wise for us to go through all of the sections of city code. And that's something that I would do. I think it would be appropriate on the second meeting of every month for me to raise a code issue if I were elected councilman. Uh, and say, hey guys, let's look at this to put on the agenda for next meeting so we can clean it up. And I would like to do that on a regular basis where I would advance something and be, like I mentioned earlier, proactive about it rather than waiting until somebody has a problem and coming in and saying, hey, I can't do this, or what, we have to change it. I'd like to go ahead and let's look at it. It's not that long, and I urge all of you guys too. It's an interesting read. Go look at City Code. You can get to it from the how-to on the city's website. It's on the How Do I section, and then look at meetings, agendas, and minutes. And you can also look at City Code there, and it's broken down. It's very logical. So if you want to look up, for example, sign code, or if you want to look up business licenses or anything like that, it's all listed there in a logical order. But as you read through it, you'll notice there's stuff that, okay, that's maybe a little old. So I'd like to go through and clean that up.
So it's been said that West Wendover has a reputation of
Sorry, can you start over? It glitched.
no, yeah, okay. It's been said that Wendover has a reputation of using illegal drug use. Do you like share those views and like what can be done about it?
There's a problem here. Absolutely. I found some paraphernalia in the road just the other day in front of my apartment over here. I do think that our police are doing a good job. They're patrolling. They're doing what they're supposed to. You're going to have those kinds of problems, I think, in any city. No city is immune to it. Uh, but if we continue to keep up education with kids, I loved what Judge Boatman had been doing with the WAIT program, and I've done some things to support that to help out. I'd like to continue to help. I just know that all that stuff's on hold with pandemic. But we definitely have a problem. I also think that there's a lot of it has to do with folks who come into town. If you read the newspaper regularly, you'll see arrests every week for folks up and down the boulevard. Uh, so it's definitely out there. Now, is it where it was when I first moved to town? Not even close. We've done a great job of getting rid of a lot of the problems. The, I wish I had an easy solution to that, though, except I think as city council, it's my job to make sure that we have a good police chief, and also city council is in charge of their evaluations and making sure that they're doing a good job. So we oversee the police department, and it's our job to make sure that they continue to do a good job in that. So that, along with the WAIT program, are the two approaches I take.
So as you're campaigning, what's been your strategy? Do you go out and put like papers in the mail or in people's doors, or do you just use your name to get the votes?
Well, this is my third time running for city council. The first time that I did was 6 years ago, and I was in the race with 13 people, and I was more just curious then than anything. I really didn't understand what I was getting into. I came in, I think I got about 80 votes. Um, a winning candidate got 127. I think that's when JC first got elected. 128 votes. So I wasn't too far off, but I didn't really put a whole lot into that. Didn't raise money. The next time that I ran, I put a little more into it. But I still just kind of relied on word of mouth. Put up a few signs, but didn't. Well, fast forward here to now. I've realized how many people in the community I really don't know. Just because I've worked in the casino for 20 years, it doesn't make you know people that work up at Smith's or work out in the mines or with the school district or work in support. You smile and wave to people, but those real relationships, I haven't had. So the last couple of years, I started I swore when I lost last time 2 years ago that I was going to do whatever it took this time. I wasn't going to leave anything on the table. I was going to try as hard as I can, work as hard as I can to try and get elected. And I started that with doing community service, trying to get involved with some charity work, helping out the JS Foundation, done a ton of stuff over the last couple of years. It's also what I was referring to with like the weight program, raising money for them, helping out with the middle school. I don't know if we did a bunch of stuff. Even like when 4th of July came along, and we weren't having a parade, I recognized that as an opportunity, not only as a citizen, but as a candidate to, hey, we need to do this as a community. We can do this, and I can show some leadership by getting out there and doing that. So I've really been trying to step out of my comfort zone. Another one of those was actually asking for a donation this time. And I was able to raise some money that was, I was able to get some of these signs up here. And I went for it this time. I went and asked a lot of property owners and put signs out. I put up door hangers, and I did that personally, by the way. I tried to get to every house in town. I bought 1,000 of them. I did run out, so I know I missed a couple places, but not too many. But it was interesting walking to pretty much every doorstep in town, from Needlepoint all the way to Desert View and everything in between, and seeing everybody. There's a lot of dogs. But I just have tried to at least get my message out to everybody, and that's kind of what I'm saying too, is more for everybody. We need more, and I felt like that would resonate with everybody, because I think everybody does kind of feel like, hey, it's been long enough. I've watched community like Mesquite has just exploded. They had less people than us, and now you look down there and they're full of industry. They've got more shopping. They've got, they have a DMV. They have a lot more stuff. I think we can learn a lot from them going forward. Sorry, I get a little off track there though, but my other effort, I've tried to be active in social media, but I'll be completely honest with you, I hate it right now. Everything is so divisive, and so you're either this or you're that, and there's no in between, and it's just not, that's not who I am, and it's been really hard doing social media. So I've really just tried to get myself out there in front of everybody. I also watched, I knew when the ballots were coming out for the post office. So I made sure, I gave as much time as I could up there. I took a sign and stood in the road and waved at folks, and I've been open. And I also want to add, if anybody has any questions for me after the fact, I'm wide open book. You can ask me anything. My email address is wendoverad@gmail.com. That's Wendover Alpha Delta Wendover AD. Feel free and email me and ask me anything you like, and I'll tell you, where I stand on something. But that's kind of what I've tried to do, is just let my leadership and my ability to bring people together and help raise money for the last couple of years, and try and introduce myself to people that way. So we'll see in 2-3 weeks how that works.
So, you got posters and you got door hangers and papers and whatever else you've been using.
Right.
How have you been able to I think how have you been able to pay for those, like what companies, or who are your supporters in that? Who's helping you get funding?
Okay. I'll tell you exactly. So we, as a city council candidate, you have to file a C&E, or it's a contributions and expenses report. So my last report pretty much has all the activity from my campaign. So my biggest donation was from the Wendover Nugget. They gave me $2,000 as a donation. My boss at work, he gave me $100 donation. Elisa Lobato, just out of the blue, says, I really, really like what you're doing, and I want to help you out. And she sent me $100. And then I also had Robert Durham, your teacher's wonderful husband, who I have dealt poker to for the last 15 years, and he's a wonderful, amazing person. He sent me $200 towards my campaign. So I have used all of that money to purchase all that stuff, and I have. I'd have to get to be exactly on the cents, but I think it's $499.36 of that money is still left over. I'm really wondering what to do with it at this point. I haven't made any decisions. I had thought about doing another door hanger, and I may do that. It'll have to be rather quick if I do, but if I do that one, I want to stick to more of just how to vote, not necessarily vote for me, but just get out and vote and tell everybody how they can do it, which is early voting starts in Elko on October 17th in person and goes all the way. And then you have voting in person on November 3rd. And one of the unique things about this year, one of the many unique things, is that you can go and vote without being registered. You can go there a day of on November 3rd. So anybody who's on the fence or says, "Oh, I never vote," we have an opportunity this year to go and try and get those folks and say, "Hey, come on, let's go vote. What do you got to lose?" And I'm still looking into exactly what you need, but I believe it's just ID and a proof of residence. Uh, so my last idea is to throw that on a door hanger and just get out there more as a community service than anything, just to get everybody else out and vote. But if anybody has any ideas on that last $500, I'm all ears. If it doesn't go anywhere, all of that money I'm going to give, whatever's left over from my campaign is going to go to the JAS Foundation to help with the senior center and the Meals on Wheels and all the stuff they've got coming up.
So what makes you better than the other candidates that are running?
Attention to detail. Um, I feel like it's like applying for a job. It really is applying for a job. I have the best experience. I have the most contacts, and I have the best understanding of city code and the legal aspects of the job. I believe that I'm the best suited person for that. I think that, like I mentioned, having those contacts, knowing those folks, being a steward to those people as they would come out and play poker, and vice versa. As I would, I've been doing that for actually longer than that. Before I was in Wendover here in the poker business. Before that, I was in the computer business in Salt Lake. And so I did lots of stuff with building computers for schools, the University of Utah, several school districts. So I have experience in working with government already in that regard with the bid process. I have experience as a bidder. So now being on the other end when I'm receiving bids, I'm going to be a guy that knows what to look out for, right, and how to protect the city when we're sending out bids for the same kinds of things.
Okay, so you talk about giving if you're not spending the last of your campaigning money, you're thinking about giving it to JS or something. What is that?
The, the JAS Foundation, JAS stands for Jeannie A. Sharp. That's Frank Sharp's lady. Uh, she died several years ago, and in her memory, he's been taking care of people ever since. Frank, I can't say enough about. I don't know how many of you would remember, but I had a clothing store. It was right after that store closed. It was called Branded, and it was just where the front store is now, at the very end of the plaza. And at the time, Frank was working there at the furniture store. So he and I spent a lot of afternoons out in the sun, just talking, waiting for customers, and so on. But the reason that I would give the money up there is because I know what he's been doing for the community. It's huge. It's huge what they do up there. And anything I can do to support. This is a small thing compared to what we've done in the past, some of the food drives and things like that. But I'll do that and continue to support that organization for as long as I can.
Okay, so that's the last of my questions. Ms. Durham, do you have anything you'd like to say?
I loved absolutely listening to everything you said. Fawn, once again, you did an amazing job.
Explosion.
Great questions and very insightful, Jeff. Um, I can't wait to see what happens and, just, hear your ideas one way or another. One of the things that I know that is most important in a community, and I think we're starting to see that now as we're trying to grapple with issues of, opening and closures of businesses and schools, is how important it is for the citizens of a community to not only be involved, but to be informed. When this election happens, it's very important that you know who you're voting for and why you're voting for them, and what are the issues, and what makes it a good choice or a bad choice. What kind of impact will these different issues have on the community? And that is one thing that I can say that Jeff has always been someone that has tried to take an active role in the community. He stays informed and involved on the issues. He brings things to my attention. I'm like, oh, didn't know that. Probably should have known that. And so I just, yeah, I'm excited for this.
I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it.
This election. I'll be glad when it's over.
I'll be glad when it's over.
Yeah.
Either way, win or lose, I've given it everything I got. So
yeah, absolutely. And no, great job, Fawn. Classmates, any questions for Mr. Durham?
Mr. Durham,
yes.
so I was listening to your whole everything. I liked all your answers and stuff like that. But if you do not win, are you still going to try to help out with the community in any way that you can?
Absolutely. I'll never stop. I've been looking for ways. When I was in poker, it was easy because we were able to throw chip ads on, and I was able to raise money for all kinds of stuff around town. I'm always looking for ways to do that, whether I'm in or not, though. 100%. Absolutely, I'll be here to help in lots of capacities. I have some business interests here in town, and I want to get some jobs here for people and get. Yeah, I'm absolutely going to be a part of this community. I feel like it's my home. Another thing that a reason, just to give you some background on that of why this is my home, is I grew up in a spot in Syracuse, Utah, that when I was there, it was all farmland. And now it's this big city, kind of sprawl development. I really just do not like how it turned out. And I don't want the same thing to happen here. I kind of feel like I lost my first hometown. So I want to do everything I can to protect this one that I have here and make sure that we do it the right way, that it doesn't just end up in sprawl and garbage and traffic, and that it's good for everybody. That's what I'm after. Absolutely. You got me 100%.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Good question.
All right. Anybody else?
A lot to think about when I haven't been elected yet. Do I daydream about it? Absolutely. Absolutely. If this were to go well, my goal would be to continue to serve as long as they would let me. I'm so proud of Izzy. He's gone 3 terms now on city council. Izzy Gutierrez, a good friend of mine, and he's been great for the community. And I would, if I could provide even half of what he's done for the community. I'd consider it a success, but as nothing set in stone, like any of those aspirations, other than daydreaming, as you're hit the pillow and going to sleep. But would I look at it? Absolutely. There's some work that needs to be done in the county too. That's why Izzy's running for county commission. By the way, I want to throw a plug for him. Please vote for Izzy for county commission, so that he can help maybe bring some of that to Wendover too. So anything that I can do in whatever capacity to help out the town, yeah, I would absolutely consider.
All right. All right. Well, Mr. Durham, we are going to let you go. Thank you so much for your time. It's going to take us a couple of days to get this rendered and uploaded, but we'll let you know when we put it out there on YouTube. And again, thank you so much for your time. And Fawn. Our political beat reporter is doing amazing.
Yes, you did an amazing job. Hey, real quick, I just want to thank you guys. I want to thank all of you for your time, and Fawn for the great questions. Like I say, that was great. I cannot wait to see this. I just want to leave you with two quick things. Number one, if you can think of something to do with that money that I can get a good message out, I would love a good idea. Send it my way, wendoverad@gmail.com. And if you have any questions you want to ask me private or whatever, same thing, wendoverad@gmail.com. And let's get out and vote. Let's get everybody out to vote. Remember, you don't have to register. You can show up. I know that's a nightmare, and we might be there all day, but everybody can vote if they want to. No excuses.
No excuses. All right. Thanks, everybody. And we will see you later, Mr. Durham. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone.
All right.
Thank you.
Trying to
You
figure
might have to kick me off.
It's if you scroll down to the bottom,
Yeah.
it should come up. You just hang up on the phone.
Oh,
Right.
gotcha.
Yeah. Or I
Nope.
can kick you out.
I'm out.
All right.
See ya.
Thank you.
You bet.